So today we're talking about the differences in shooting in RAW or JPEG. And just before we get into the video, just a quick reminder that I make videos like this all the time to help you with your photography and your videography. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those videos, click the subscribe button and also the little notification bell, and that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, so today I wanted to try and talk about this whole sort of shooting RAW, shooting JPEG thing that people are quite passionate about this. But I genuinely believe that there is a space where you may want to use one or the other. So I'll go through why you might want to choose one over the other, and also what the differences are so that you know what you're sort of letting yourself into. So when you capture an image with a digital camera, all digital cameras will capture a RAW image, first of all, right? So the initial image is RAW, and then you configure the camera to either save that as a RAW image or a JPEG. Now, what's the difference between the two? So a RAW image is the image as is, there's no compression, and it will record everything that the camera sees. A JPEG file is a compressed version of that RAW image. So what it does is it will strip away some things. So the JPEG compression, the way that it works is not a lossless compression method. So there is some compression, but it also strips away some things. And those are the things that you'll find will be a factor if you are going to be doing editing of your images afterwards. So if you're going from the camera and you're going straight to, you're not going to a computer, you're going from, you're just loading the card, say, or you're loading the card onto a computer and then you're just exporting all the JPEGs, or you're just handing over the JPEGs. As long as they're exposed correctly and you're not going to be doing any editing, then shooting JPEG is probably okay. But if you're going to be doing any sort of editing at all, then you really should be shooting RAW, because otherwise you are stripping away all this other information that you're not going to be able to access at a later stage. So, and shooting RAW will give you, it'll give you more flexibility when you are changing the white balance, when you are trying to recover highlights or shadows, and it would just, you're working with the purest form of the image that the camera can capture. So it will always give you more flexibility. If you look at the difference between, say, on a 5D Mark IV, which I use, the RAW image on that camera is somewhere around about 34 to 40 meg per image. So it's quite large. And if you then shoot to JPEG, you're looking at somewhere between 4 and 7. So that's a substantial difference. So there's got to be information that is just gone. You're not, there's things that you're not capturing, right? So if you don't need those things, fine, shoot JPEG. But if you are going to be doing some editing, you probably should be shooting in RAW. Now, why would you then not just shoot RAW all the time? Well, the difference is mostly because of the size. So number one is the size of the photographs. Now that's probably not as applicable today because the cards are quite large, so you can fit a lot of, and they're very affordable, so you can fit a lot of photographs on the card. But then the other factor is that you, if you're shooting a lot of images, then what can happen is that your camera may not be able to write to the card fast enough. So then it banks up and it gets to a point where the camera just won't operate until all those files are written to the card. So if you're shooting a sports event, for example, you're on rapid fire, you may find that your camera will shoot maybe say 20, 30 frames, and then it will stop, and you won't be able to take any pictures until all of that is cleared and written to the card, right? So in those cases, if you absolutely must get the shot, then you may want to shoot in JPEG so that because they're smaller files, it will write to the card much faster and it will clear that queue if you do happen to fill that up. So that's probably the two main differences between the two. So hopefully that's something that's helpful to you. Personally, me, I shoot RAW all the time, and because I want to have the flexibility to edit my photos and push them as far as I need to push them in the editing process afterwards. So yeah, look, I hope this is something that you found useful. If you did find this useful, please give it a like, share it with other people that you think might also find this interesting as well. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.